Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz. It is March 19, 2017 at 1:17 a.m. in Birmingham. And the topic, what would you do if you woke up and suddenly you're in the tribulation? That would be something that those who are aware of it, a lot of them will die from fright. A lot of them will kill themselves. A lot will die from fear, because those who it scares knew that it was going to come, but they didn't know when, and they thought they had time to accept Christ and miss it. Well, there's too much going on today, right now, and again, as you see, all the left, I've never in my life seen anything like this. And I keep saying Trump's going to be here 4 years, and then he'll be here a second term. Well, I'm beginning to doubt that he'll be here the whole 4 years. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't know too much about what's under the ice and what the deal is. I found out more about why Kerry went down, and it was a plead from what I call powers to be to make sure that Hillary Clinton was elected. But that was a wasted trip, wasted taxpayers' money for him to go there, because if he wanted to plead with anyone to keep Trump out, that would have been God. Trump's in because of God, and he's here to do a job for God and for this country, and he will do it. But we need to know something. There's underlying events that hadn't yet occurred that they're going to occur. It's just that the date, hours not known, the timing, the timing of it has been shifted by recent studies. They're not recent as in last week when I said that a man had pinpointed maybe a month of the rapture of the church. No, he has known this a long time. He simply had no platform. He did write a book, and it's in his book. But until he spoke with L.A. Marzulli, he had not a platform. But he has now. And a recent event occurred yesterday. And I'm talking about actually the 17th, since we're now on Sunday. And that was the United Nations once again telling Israel to give it up. And I'll say to the same thing to the United Nations what Israel probably said under the breath: kiss my royal ass, you United Nations. You don't own us. You don't control us. And Israel's there for a reason, God's reason. Trump is here for a reason, God's reason. Those will not be changed by no man, no power. Whether that power is under the ice or if it's in the Illuminati that's huddled up somewhere in a place with a board game that stretches 400 foot square in a room, and they're doing, they're moving things around to make a world event occur right behind it. Well, the only thing they cannot control is God's actions and the things that God puts into place. They can forget that. They may start wars, and they may determine winners. They may put some people in for presidents. But God used bad people a lot of times as a leader. Many times. He used Obama. Don't you think that's enough to understand? Obama was there only by the grace of God, but he was there, in my honest opinion, to wake up America. We got an idiot in here that if another idiot comes behind him, then America's done with. We're over, and we saw that coming. And when you have, and let me say something else, there were the votes and there were the numbers by the cheating that Hillary Clinton did, and still could not overcome Trump because God would not let it happen. If God sat back and said, well, I need to let America go through 4 more years, 2 things. I believe, one, he knew that we couldn't take 4 more years. And number 2, his plan is going to come to pass before that 4 years is up anyway. So whatever it is, other than reverse Roe versus Wade, other than put prayer back into schools, other than open the doors to Christianity and let them flow throughout this world as missionaries, I believe these things are going to happen. But I think, sometimes there's a test on a country. And just like there was a test on so many people that Christ used or that God used over time, I'm going to see if, of course, he knows the end from the beginning, but just the same, we don't. And we can all sit and pray and cry all day long and say, God, if you had given us one good man, we would have gone out there and we would have told everybody, look, you have but a short time. We're in Matthew 24:24 today. We're that close. Now, so it's us, but because of our benefits, our prayers, and our promises to God that we'd do certain things if he gave us a man that would allow us to do them. And that's what he did. And that's why I'm on here. This is why many other people like me are on here, warning you that too many things are happening that's not good. And I hear so many things about what's under the ice. I don't know what to believe anymore, but I do believe this. I believe it's not good. I believe what's there is a buildup of something that's going to come against this world, but it will not come against this Christian world. The Christians will be taken out beforehand, and then it will be unleashed. We're protected, guys. I don't care what anybody tells you. And please read and read and read and think about the things that are going on and see what Matthew 24:24 says. So what I said in the beginning, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow and you're in the tribulation? Well, here's what most people would do that has at least heard the gospel but have refused it or either was on the fence and didn't do anything. They're going to come to places like my house, and they're going to go into it. And they're going to have stacks of literature here that will tell them how to receive Christ and tell them in a way, how to hide, how to keep under the radar. That's the only way to get through it. Stay under that radar. So you're going to learn that there's millions of people like me that we have in our house. And if you have internet, there's even more access to these things. But I don't believe internet will be here during that final 7 years. I think that'll be taken away from you, because you saw the guy that had his Facebook is quitting. And the reason he's quitting and giving up his company is because what Zuckerberg, because his hands are being so tied and his limits are so narrow now that it will become a non-profitable business that he has there that's slowly going to be removed. Just like the internet and YouTube, people who have blogs that are perceived as dangerous, theirs will be shut down. And then they'll be locked out. And if mine are gone one day, you'll know. But I don't think mine are perceived as dangerous yet. But if they don't want me talking about Christ, then they will perceive me that way and they will lock me out. But again, I believe I'll be gone at that time. Guys, please hear this and just think about it. There's so many people that support what the Mark Williamson, I think that's his name, I'm drawing a blank now, the other day what he said about this year, possibly in October, maybe September, that one of those 2 months could be our last 2 months here. That's a great concern for me. And what would it be if we didn't have time to get out, start witnessing to the world? I think the thing is, God wants to know that we will do as we promised. And I'm doing my best to do my part right here on this channel. And I hope and pray for every one of you that you read the 4 up top, John 3:16, Genesis 3:12, 2 Chronicles 7:14, and Matthew 24:24. Read those. Matthew 24:24, you will see that you're there right now, today. You don't have long. I would not tell you that. And I always said our time is short, but when I say our time is short, I mean really short now. I believe even worse than a minute to midnight, I believe seconds to midnight, because from this second forward, a rapture could occur at any moment. And when that happens, then all the plans are changed. Nothing will anymore be the way it was. Free speech is dead. Christianity is dead, except those who accept it and go into hiding. I ask you to hear me out, because we're in a very critical stage. More things are happening. UN shut Israel out, and this will precisely draw people headed toward Israel with their guns. You know what? The UN said you didn't belong here, and we're going to help them get you out. I can see all these things being expedited and picked up and get really speedy here in the very near future. So you may not have but a few days, a few months. You don't have a few years. And let me say one more thing. A lot of you, and I've heard a lot of you, and I've had people tell me, he says, it's going to be so hard to stop. Look, you don't have to stop doing anything. Look, if you're a guy out there going out having sex 7 nights a week, don't let that stop you from accepting Christ, because once you accept Christ, then he will work with you. But Christ is more important than that. I'm telling you, guys, I'm telling you for a reason. You don't have to stop what you're doing. Accept Christ and then worry about what you do. He will help you change. And you're not going to stop sinning. I still sin. You don't know how many times I cuss out people in traffic all the time. That's a sin. And I do look at those pictures twice. That's a sin. But also ask for forgiveness again. Please hear me out. Jody Wolf, Expoz.